Hello guys, welcome to the Train Parrot. Cardano has broken out on the daily, so we're gonna do an update on this coin, look at liquidation levels, look at the news, and why the target of $0.9 to $1 could be the initial stop before we carry on into higher targets. First of all, if we focus on the chart in here, we can see that the price action on the weekly looks very similar to Link. This is Link, you have a breakout, you have a fail attempt in here into $17. With Cardano, pretty much we have the same failure at 83, and now we are approaching that level. So just like I said in the previous video, probably there is a heck of a lot of risk when we approach 83 cents. There is a depression on the volume profile, and we got some levels coming in on the RSI weekly as well. Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell to get notified every time I put out one of these videos. If you want to trade Cardano or any other coin, including a long list of altcoins, we're talking about 1,000 supported coins, then consider joining the exchange 2bit. This was built by the same people that built Bybit with the idea of offering non-KYC accounts. So if you're already familiar with Bybit, you're going to feel pretty much like home. And to make you feel even better, as soon as you open your account, you're gonna get $50 of bonuses before depositing or trading anything. No questions asked. Then if you deposit and you start trading with decent volume, you can get up to 30,000 in trading bonuses. You get access to leverage, all the altcoins, big volume, and the best part of all is that you get to help the channel as well. So that resistance of around 83, 85 cents comes in precisely at the previous area of support, precisely at the highs of March 2024, precisely the level that rejected us when we were having the initial breakout in here from the falling wedge that we have to correct thanks to the failure. We have to do the same with the RSI. Initially it was placed like this. This was the breakout. We hit the first line of defense in here, the revenge rally area, and we failed and we put a new low. When we did that with Link, actually we put a higher low, so this puts ADA a little bit more bearish in that sense, but it had a little bit more of expansion in here to also develop the falling wedge, which is something good. We never went into the actual final bottom of the falling wedge at an RSI of 34. We broke out straight away. We took the first revenge rally and we are on our way to the second revenge rally, which will be 58. Why is it called like that? Well, historically, as I remember, we have this breakout and we had this line of support that was defending this initial breakout in here. That was that one, and we couldn't defend this line that now we are meeting up now again for a second time, potentially at RSI 58. If we can break this 58, then we put on the table this very juicy 86, 87. So it's worth watching. After all, we are in a descending wedge in here and we have already taken many bullets to the downside. So hopefully this time, thanks to the positive sentiment in the market, we can actually get back into 86. The structure in the momentum looks like that is doable. We have higher highs and higher lows. And after in the price, we form strong support in here at 53 cents, which probably the liquidation levels right below that must be mental if we go lower into that area. But as long as the sentiment is still positive and as long as we manage to break with this double bottom formation with the neck of 83, we can go into way higher targets. But here 83, in my opinion, is the line in the sand to flip completely bullish in ADA for continuation in this expansion. We're talking about a channel that is still very healthy, and here you can connect these lines and you can get a channel that is opening the mouth into any potential targets. The expansion of one puts us into $16 and the golden pocket into $2.3, more or less. In terms of longs and shorts, we are pretty healthy here, sitting at 46. We are now a little bit further away from the area of value. That's natural during this more bullish price action that we are seeing, but very far away actually from the first line of 73 where we could get too overextended. Socials are hitting up, but still not too much. We are at almost 3% of social dominance, less than the typical 4% that we get in the bull market. And yes, going now into the daily time frame, we can see in here that the RSI has actually managed to break the global resistance. That is pretty crazy on the daily, and thanks to that, it has reclaimed this lost support. That is definitely a massive bullish signal. If we can hold 70 cents, I think the next juicy bit is the golden pocket that is also in confluence with this high level of liquidation of 90 cents. Everybody's gonna be talking about $1 because is the psychological level. In the news, everybody's gonna refer to whether we can get back above $1. There we get this liquidation level, but at 90 cents is where we get the juiciest one, and at 90 cents we have the golden pocket, and at 90 cents we break out from the top of the triangle. This breakout on the daily, what it's saying is obviously preceding the price action. So you should be wondering, when we hit this and we have a breakout in here, what are the corresponding levels? Well, this corresponds with the top. This one in here corresponds with this. This one corresponds with this resistance in here. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I wanted to say that this breakout corresponds with anticipating a breakout above 82. It's a little bit earlier, so I will watch out how we react once we get into 83 cents. And if we do break that level, we're gonna definitely manage to get to fulfill all these liquidations in here that are on the right hand side. Once we manage to get into 90 cents, if we go into the $1, we are gonna enter into a depression of liquidation levels. The reason for not having many liquidations in here is because Trump tweeted something bullish on a weekend and we bump into 117. Thanks to that, there's so many shorts that open right from this level. So liquidity starts from 1.2, but in all this area from $1 into 1.2, there is a sharp decline in liquidity pools. So that's gonna make a tough part of the price action to really get into $1.2. There are fair value gaps in there that are gonna contribute, but in terms of liquidity pools, we have very little liquidity. So there is an unbalance there for us to really get that high. But the big price is definitely from 1.2 into $1.5 with ADA, which is an area where I'm gonna start looking into profit taking for the cycle. That doesn't mean ADA cannot go beyond that level. Indeed, we have in here an extension of 1 that gets us into 1.5, but the golden pocket gets into 2.14. In terms of crypto one, things are looking still very healthy. Taker buy is dominant, just like with Bitcoin. Heavy buyers, aggressive buyers, and big whale orders are still dominating the space, and there is nothing yet in the red. Everything is neutral. In terms of news, we got 2 very bullish news and 1 moderately bullish. Cardano surges amid bullish momentum, institutional interest, and key partnerships. We got skyrockets to 29%, is 1.2 next. I will say first, let's take care of 0.9 before we claim that we can get into 1.2. 1.2 could be a distraction if at 0.9 that liquidation has a strong rejection. So watch out for that. Analysts see Cardano price rallying past 125 this month. Of course, if Bitcoin carries on into over 130k, that's gonna give a lot of headroom for the altcoins to go way further. So first, we need to see Bitcoin where it's going to find an area to go sideways, to range, because altcoins typically in a topping year tend to skyrocket once Bitcoin has done something significant to the upside, which we are already doing, but assuming that it doesn't necessarily do a blow off top. With a correction immediately of 30%, that's definitely not going to help the altcoins. We need Bitcoin to find, let's say, 120 or 130 and then go sideways there, doing various divergences, double tops, and stuff that lasts for 1, 2, 3 months. Under those controlled conditions, the altcoins are going to have headroom for that profit taking from Bitcoin to go into Ethereum and altcoins, and that's how we get into 125 and beyond. Let me look at liquidation levels also on CoinGlass Legend. We can see a high liquidation at 85, at 82, and the biggest one next is 78, right there. Below the price is very, very homogeneous. We have 73, 67, and 60 being the largest ones. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.